I absolutely love defending in Rematch. As I said in my first defense tutorial, I am a defender, it is all I do. And that is still true today. However, where in that video I had only 128 hours in game, now I have over 400, and I have become an absolute defensive god.
Oh, nice block, Mogzy.
And on top of my own skills progressing, the defensive meta has also changed a lot recently, and so it's time for an updated tutorial. So if you've been struggling to intercept missiles like this, or stop dribblers like these, look no further because this is How to Defend in Rematch 2.0. Before we get started, I just want to say that if you haven't already watched my original defense tutorial that I made a couple of months ago, I highly recommend that you go watch that first. I will reference some of the strategies that I taught in that video, and also that video just gives you a really good foundation for defense that this video will build upon. And also, despite the changes in the game since I made that video, all of the tips are still relevant and will still help you a lot with your defense. So yeah, go watch that video first. Oh, and just quickly, here are all of my key bindings, so you can see how I have all of my controls set up, and you can understand what I'm pressing in my overlay in the bottom left corner. We're going to start with something that I call dash jockeying. So in my original defense tutorial, I talked about jockeying using defensive stance, as well as just standing there doing nothing. Well, I have an upgraded version of both of those that uses the dash mechanic, and that honestly I consider to be a bit of a defensive superpower. It is basically the best way to jockey players that have a lot of skill moves and whose movement is really tricky, and it is just incredibly effective. It is essentially just running at the player with the ball, then holding defensive stance and dashing away from them. At that point, if they haven't already handed you the ball, you can repeat this by running in other directions, then dashing back the opposite direction. And eventually, they'll give you the ball. Sometimes you'll actually need to tackle them to take the ball. And other times you can just use defensive stance and let them push ball it or rainbow flick it directly to you. In that case, you'll want to make sure that you have a pass ready to go so that you can get rid of the ball rather than them just tackling you right back and taking it back. Or you can use another method like push ball and extra effort to get some distance from them and get rid of the ball. But yeah, this is basically my go-to method of jockeying these days. The downside is that it does use a decent amount of stamina, so you have to be careful how you use it, but it's really effective and it works even against the best dribblers in the game. So highly recommend it. A new meta regarding ball possession has emerged in Rematch in the past couple of months. It comes up anytime two players are challenging the same ball, and they both need to decide whether to take possession of it themselves, or wait for the opponent to take possession and then try to tackle them. And amusingly, this can occasionally result in a little standoff where both players are afraid to take possession lest they immediately be tackled. So obviously the ideal outcome of this situation for you is that you take possession of the ball and then run off and score a banger. But you know, that ain't gonna happen every time. So instead of thinking of what could go right, let's instead think of the number one thing that could go wrong and focus on avoiding that. And really, that can be summed up in two words: getting tackled. Obviously, getting tackled is bad for any player in any position. But for a defender, it's particularly bad, and I don't think I have to explain why. But the question is, how do you avoid getting tackled? Well, it's simple really. Just don't take possession of the ball. You can't get tackled if you're never in possession. And how do you interact with the ball without taking possession? Well, you use standing tackles and slide tackles. Your priorities for resolving this standoff should look like this. 1. Using a standing tackle to hit the ball away in the direction of a teammate who can then safely take possession. Do the same using a slide tackle. Both of these occasionally give you the chance to use defensive stance to hold your opponent back to give your teammate more time on the ball. Number 3, use a standing tackle or a slide tackle to hit the ball away. Then, if that buys you enough space, take possession at that point and get rid of the ball. And the 4th and lowest priority is let your opponent take possession of the ball and then try to tackle him. You'll notice nowhere in there did I say you should immediately take possession of the ball yourself. That is almost never an option in these standoffs, and honestly, that's all this guy's thinking right now. Please take possession so I can tackle you. So don't give him the pleasure. Essentially, your priority as a defender at all times should be not getting tackled. Focus 100% on this, and using these solutions we just talked about, get that ball safely to a teammate. Okay, now we have to talk about one of the absolute most important parts of being a defender, missiles. Missiles are one of the most common forms of pass you'll encounter in this game, and for good reason. They're an extremely effective way to score goals, smashing the ball up to a striker who can then likewise smash it into the goal. And as a defender, you need to know how to counter them. Well, the good news is that these days after patch 5, it's much easier to stop them. And actually, I just made a video all about them, including a live demonstration in game, so go check that out if you haven't already. So actually, I can sum up how you can win most missiles in like 2 sentences. If you're ball side of the receiver, shoot, pass, or lob. If you're goal side of the receiver, dive. Here, I'll draw you a little diagram. This is your goal, this is you, this is the passer, and this is a receiver. If you're in this position between the passer and the receiver, the way to block the shot is to press the shoot button, tap or light tap button, or lob or light lob button. You'll win the priority and clear the ball. However, if you find yourself instead on this side of the receiver, between him and your goal, you will not win priority, like ever, and so the only way to stop the shot is to perfectly time your dive after he shoots. Now, there are of course exceptions to this general rule, and there are ways for the receiver to win the volley even if the defender is positioned ball side. One way is for the passer to curl the ball around the defender so the ball never gets within range and so he never even gets an indicator. And this can also be done with a high pass curling downwards. And the other is for the passer to hit the ball long over both players' heads and for the receiver to run onto it and get the volley. However, these kinds of plays are extremely difficult to pull off and almost impossible for you as a defender to plan for, and so in most cases you want to prioritize getting ball side to stop the easiest and most common forms of passing plays. And as an additional little tip, if you do find yourself losing the prio battle, sometimes you can actually cancel your shot or your pass by pressing the dive button, and you'll block the shot with a dive instead. So at this point you might be yelling at your screen, But Mogz, which one has higher priority? Shoot, pass, or lob? Well, calm down firstly, but based on my testing, they're all the same. Maybe in the past that wasn't the case, and I've even advocated for using things like light lob. However, that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. So which one you use really depends on what you want to do with the ball. Do you want to control it? Then maybe try light lob. Do you want to smash it away? Then you can shoot. Or do you want to do something in between? Then maybe lob or tap are your best options. But anyway, that's it. That's how missiles and prio works these days. Really hope it helps, guys. And as I said, go watch that other video if you haven't already. There's a lot of live demonstration footage in there where you can see exactly how I apply it in game. So go check it out. Okay, the next 5 tips are nowhere near as big as the first 3, so we're just going to go through them pretty quickly. They're just all great little tricks that I use all the time in defense that help me out a lot that aren't super obvious, so let's go through them. Alright, before we get into the rest of the video, I just want to let you guys know that there is another way for you guys to purchase games other than Steam, and that is Green Man Gaming. Green Man Gaming has a ton of Steam games that are either the same price or cheaper than they are on Steam. And they also have a reward system where every single purchase earns you XP, which can give you access to giveaways and bonus vouchers. So go check out Green Man Gaming via the link on screen and the video description. Also, if you're looking for a VPN, check out ExpressVPN. They just massively reduced their prices to make them even more affordable than they already were, and they are my personal choice for a VPN to hide my identity online, as well as for gaming in other regions. So check out ExpressVPN via the link on screen and again in the video description. Alright, that's it for my ad. Let's get back into the video. One of your absolute best friends as a defender is space. Space to do what? Well, to pass, of course. When you're receiving a pass, instead of just running towards the ball, taking it, and then deciding what to do, try letting the ball run while you look for a passing option. Then once you find one, take the ball and make the pass. One of the most common types of passes you'll do as a defender are those long-range bombs up to your strikers. Early on when playing this game, I would run towards the player I was trying to pass to, then extra effort and shoot to pass them the ball. And yeah, this is fine, but the problem is it often makes your player run quite far forward before you actually get the pass off, which can be dangerous if there's an opponent nearby. The solution to this is extremely simple. Just add a push ball in here before your extra effort, and it reduces your running distance significantly. Here's a side-by-side comparison so you can see the difference. As you can see in the push ball example, we run much less distance before we actually get the pass. If you're on comms with your teammates and you're looking for a safe passing option, the absolute best way to do this is to say to them, "Come towards me," and then immediately pass so that the ball goes straight to them. TK, come to me. TK, short to you, short to you, short to you on the ground. Passing on this side of the marking defender, rather than trying to get it over their head, is always the safest option, and this call gives your teammate early warning, allowing them to win the ball. Here's a super common situation as a defender. You're scrapping with an opponent in the corner trying to get the ball, and you need to make sure they don't get it first and cross it, because that would be bad. My solution to this is pretty simple, and honestly it might be super obvious and something everyone does, but anyway, it works for me, so here it is. Basically, as soon as I find myself in a position where I'm able to get a successful tackle off, as soon as I get that sound and animation, I immediately press pass and aim towards my keeper. That's it. It's a tackle plus pass in a single movement.
What the hell?
Number 3 is free.
Very good.
And my 8th and final tip in this extremely long defense video is subscribe to this channel. Because if you want to get good at defense, I'm a defender, guys. It's all I do. It's like my life in this game. I've also been streaming recently on this channel and sometimes over on Twitch. So if you want to see me play live as a defender, playing against the best players in Asia, then come and watch my streams. And that's it. That's my 8th tip. Subscribe to this channel. Sorry, it's a crappy tip, but please do it. I was actually going to put one in here about like not diving in the box because you could just hit the ball into your own goal. But let's be honest, I still do it. And yeah, I mean, that's just like worst case scenario. So I decided to just put in here, you should subscribe. And that's it, guys. That is my video about defense in Rematch. I really hope they don't bloody change everything in the next patch, in patch 6. Hopefully they won't, because I really like the state of the game at the moment. It's a perfect blend of like favoring, you know, smart attacking plays and also giving defenders the tools that they need to counter things like missiles and, you know, insane dribbles like golden boosts and stuff. I just love it. It's so damn good. I wish the game was in this state when it first came out rather than 6 months down the line. But anyway, whatevs. Loving it at the moment. Just wish there were more players to play with. And yeah, really keen to hear your thoughts down below. If you have your own defensive strategies that you use, or you have any, you know, notes about any of my tips, let me know down in the comments. Always love hearing your thoughts. And check out the other content on this channel. I'm always doing Rematch Masterclass videos. If you want to submit your own entries for that, then you can DM me on Discord. All the details are in the video description. And subscribe if you want to watch that kind of content. And I'm also doing tutorials and other content news. I do Rematch news as often as I can. Whenever there's anything interesting to talk about, I will talk about it. And as always, guys, come join the Mogz Discord server if you want to hang out with me and other Mogz viewers. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if not, subscribe for more videos like this. See you guys in the next one.